celebrate the legacy of Professor Ramaswamy Subramania Ayyar. Uh, we are here to inaugurate the conference room. Uh, Professor Ayyar was one of the founding faculty members of the Civil Engineering Department. He was also the first head of the department and have been the Dean of Academic Program during his tenure at IIT Bombay. We are honored to have our distinguished guests, faculty member and alumni here. Thank you so much everyone for joining and being a part of this event. To commence the event, I would like to request Professor Tom Matthew, the head of the Civil Engineering Department, to come and give us a welcome address.
A very afternoon and welcome to the department, and we are really honored to have this event, and especially this is probably a first of the kind of model, and where our own faculty is also become a donor, and I know there is a lot of hard work which has gone behind this, and I think 3 years back I think this process has started, and so I really wanted to welcome all of you, and especially Madam Parvati Madam. I think thank you for taking this initiative to make Professor Ayyar's legacy as a memorable thing, and it also is an inspiration to younger faculty. And of course, many of us has not seen him, but now it's a great opportunity for us to be reminded of all the contributions by Professor Ayyar. And also we wanted to be reminded that last time when Engineer Madam came, we also had a tree planted just adjacent to our department, and that also is there. And now this conference room is there, and this is one of the most heavily utilized conference room in the department. This is the most sought after room, and I hope that will be his memory will be continued used here and inspire us. Thank you each one of us for joining.
Thank you so much, Professor Matthew, for your warm welcome. Now it is my honor to invite the Director of IIT Bombay, Professor Shirish Kedare, to share his thoughts with us today. Sir, please.
It's a very memorable moment where a different kind of paying back is happened. Alumni do pay back, but faculty and his family giving out to, which they have already given so much for institute, but giving back to institute in willingness to give is the first thing that is very important. And then of course they have suggested this way of donating the certain flats, and it's also important that DRF and Dean SCR office has made it possible. So it also pioneers a way of different kind of donations back to institute. And I understand that I was around the campus when Professor Ayyar was here, but we never crossed the paths. We never took any course in civil, and of course there are so many things to do at that time. So we must have seen.
This is Buragoven's course. He was one of our tutors for one of our.
Okay, yeah. Of course we know Buragoven also because of, I think he taught us applied mechanics, Professor Buragoven, but we had no occasion to meet Professor Ayyar. But as it comes out, his personality is very interesting, and what students felt about him is also quite clear, that he was a very lovable person and extremely gifted teacher. So I think these are the important things that we need to take. Involvement in the institute, involvement in various aspects of institute, and when I say involvement, it's a complete dedication, more than involvement. And I also say without expecting anything. So it's involvement without attachment. So this is very important. Without any anything for himself. That's how the faculty here are, and that's how the family of the faculty here are. So they are on campus. Ideally, they are actually no one. They do not have LDAP ID, right? So these are institute members who do not have LDAP ID, but still they are attached to IIT, and this is a strength of IIT that we connect so many families together, and this is one of the examples. So, as I said, it's a very memorable moment, and let's hope many such things happen to DRF and in Ayyar office. So, finally, thanks to the family, thanks for being here, and let's be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much,
very
Professor Kedare, for your inspiring words. We would now be delighted to hear from Professor K.V. Krishna Rao, Deputy Director, Finance, Infrastructure and Administration, FIA, and a current faculty member at Civil Engineering. And I welcome you, sir, to share a few words with us.
Thank you. As Professor Kedare rightly said, it is an honorable occasion, and it is my proud privilege to get this opportunity to speak on this occasion, because I am basically a faculty member from this department. Of course, when this is the first kind of occasion that is actually happening in this department, I don't think any of our faculty, facilities are given any kind of name so far. I think this is the first of its kind that is happening, and that credit goes to Professor Ayyar and his family. So thank you very much for this. Of course, I was not fortunate enough to actually cross the paths when I joined only in 1996. I think much before that, Professor Ayyar retired from his services. But I could actually read about him and know about him when these alumni reunions happen. So during most of the alumni reunions, people used to recollect and what kind of great teacher he was. And in their books also, whenever any reunion happens, they create a book. So in that book, they used to talk about their professors, and I could able to read all praises and good words about Professor Ayyar by all the old students. And of course, I know him as a stalwart in structural engineering, and he is the founding professor of civil engineering department. And I also hear that while reading, I came to know that he was originally first started at IIT Kharagpur, and from there he came when this institute has started, and of course went on to become head of the department as well as dean of academic programs. So dean of academic programs is a very coveted position in those days, because they are supposed to do everything related to the academics. So that way we are very proud and very happy that his memory is always going to live in this particular conference room. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Professor Rao, for your thoughtful address. At this moment, we are privileged to honor the family, Mrs. Parvati Ayyar, the wife of late Professor R.S. Ayyar, and Ms. Jayashree Subramania, the daughter of Professor R.S. Ayyar. I invite Professor Milind Atre, the Deputy Director of Academic Research and Translation Art, and Professor Vedagiri Perumal, the Dean of Infrastructure Planning and Support, to formally felicitate the Ayyar family. So please.
Yeah, give me. खोले अम्मा कैमरा
Thank you so much.
Let us open it.
You can also.
Please.
Lots of notes. वापस पैक करना
Don't open it. Amma.
You can open this now.
Amma.
Please pull it down.
Oh my God. That is so beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Amma.
Yeah.
Amma, பிடிச்சிட்டு யாரு? Amma. அது பிடிச்சிக்கோ. அது பிடிச்சிக்கோ. Yeah. There you go.
He's there with his friends in the classroom and the colleagues.
I know,
and
what
the
else?
students.
And my mother-in-law is also there.
She first noticed that.
She's my mother-in-law.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Yes, gift.
Thank you so
Amma,
much.
thank you very much. Amma,
Want to sit down there?
Thank you so much, Professor Atre and Professor Vedagiri, for the felicitation. It is now time to hear from the family. We have honored, as I said, to have Mrs. Parvati Ayyar and Ms. Jayashree here with us for this event. I would like to request Parvati ma'am to share a few words with us. You can sit there.
Okay, you want to go there or? Come.
Hello.
Sit on the chair.
You can sit on the chair. Yeah. No, I don't sit there. I will go there and she'll be there with me. It's okay. If you want to sit, it's okay. No. Okay.
Okay, let's
So I can go there and stand. Can I use it?
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
If you can remove the top. Hold it, hold it.
So my name is Jayashree and it's my honor and privilege to introduce my mother, Mrs. Parvati Subramania Ayyar. And my mother was the greatest anchor and support for my father, and also his first and his main student. Actually, he married her at the age of 18. She was just a high school graduate from Kerala in Malayalam medium. And he actually put her through bachelor's, her master's, and she became a professor of English all her life. So, actually towards the end, he wanted her to do a PhD, and she said that's the final, end. But you will see how amazing a professor she is with, when she actually presents her view of Dr. Arasaya. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Namaste to everybody. Respected director, deans, distinguished faculty members, head of the Department of Civil Engineering, staff, students, my dear friends, Namaste. Today, it is a great day for me. It is like a homecoming to me. I entered this campus as a bride and left the campus as a grandmother. And today I am so happy that I am here in connection with inaugurating a seminar room named by the name of my husband, Dr. R. Subramania Ayyar. Professor Subramania Ayyar is known as Professor Subramania Ayyar. But if you permit me, I would like to present my view of my husband as a professor and as a human being. He was born in a small village in Tamil Nadu. And he lost his father at the age of 14, and he was taken care of and raised brought up by his widowed mother. And he had lot of medical challenges growing up. But the brilliant mind that he has, he faced all the challenges with very great courage. Subsequently, he joined the educational system, and at the 8th grade, he stood state first in the erstwhile Travancore state, and then continued to join the engineering engineering college, and got admitted to Trivandrum Engineering College, and where he graduated with distinction and first rank. And then he was given a scholarship, research scholarship from Bengal Engineering College. But to go from Kerala, Trivandrum, to Bengal is not easy. In those days it was 1954. Now you people, today you get your certificate, tomorrow you are in the plane, and third day you are in USA. Not so in those days. And he decided whether to go or not, how to travel, where is the money for the train ticket. It's a big question. But he decided to go. That was his brilliance that we will see. And he joined the Bengal Engineering College as a research scientist. And then after that, he was offered a position in the University of Wisconsin, but he refused because he does not want to leave his mother, who was his only support. So he decided to join IIT Kharagpur as a faculty and completed his MTech program. Yeah. And then after doing that, IIT Bombay was born. He was one of the founding members of IIT Bombay. I still remember the foundation laying ceremony laid by Jawaharlal Nehru, and cold coffee was served. I was aghast. We have a philosophy of taking coffee. The smoke will come out. That is how my mother-in-law instructs me to make a coffee. And my mother-in-law was sitting by me. He said, cold coffee? I said, yes. There will be cold coffee, and tomorrow we will get gold coffee, I told her. And it is so. Now IIT can afford to give gold coffee to people. And then he was working with IIT, and in 1961, at that time when IIT, we all moved to Bombay then, IIT was growing up. It started in a shed-like thing in near 9th hostel. And then it has grown up into a great complex now. But it took some time. And in 1961, my husband went to Russia to do his PhD as a UNESCO scholar. And he used to tell me I have to get my PhD in Russian in 33 months. And he got it in 33 months. And then he came back to India and started teaching with IIT Bombay, and our life started there. And at that time, we were sharing our pathway with snakes, and we give the right of path to the snakes and order them to go. Then we used to walk. That was IIT once upon a time, away from civilization. And since he did his PhD in Russia, he was very well versed in Russian language, and he has a flair for language, and he is a great scholar in Tamil too. Unfortunately, I do not know how to write Tamil. He does not know how to write Malayalam. Unlike poles attract like poles. I hope that this is correct. And so I asked, the first day he met me, he said, my love is Tamil. Oh, that is why we don't go to. Then he continued his innings in IIT Bombay, and he was a great translator of technical books from Russian to English. And he was doing it all his life. And then when he was translating all those things, he has a lot of eye problem. But with his concentration, he was continuing to do these things, and he was also slowly he was holding many other positions, executive and other like JE chairman. But of all the things, he enjoyed each job and put his mind in it 100%. His perfection symbolic, but his mind, his passion, despite all those things, his passion was teaching. He wanted to be a good teacher, and he says every individual is teachable. Only what you need is the willingness for the student to learn and the dedicated teacher to teach. And a teacher's focus should be to instill confidence in the minds of the students, to encourage the life value system, and to give the courage to explore and find out. That was his philosophy. Everyone is teachable, and he is very much for getting the potential of the students to the maximum. He loved teaching so much, and he says if there is a willing teacher and if there is a willing student, there is no problem of education. And then he continued with this innings in IIT Bombay. Then he was doing his structural designs also. And one I don't know much about engineering, but one structural design I still remember. He used to take me to Kanyakumari and the Gandhi Memorial you must have seen. And there the light falls on the statue of the Mahatma Gandhi on 2nd October. And that was designed by Dr. At that time he was not Dr. Ayyar, as a student of engineering college, along with his professor J.C. Alexander. And he was so proud of that. So his main focus, and he never used to depend upon the roll call to call his students. He memorizes the student's name and calls them in person. But he was very important that one should be ethical, and he always insists his students, you should be ethical. You must lead a life of ethics, not a life of comfort. So one of his students took up IAS after graduating, then he used to write, that student used to tell me, he used to write every month a letter. Be careful, you should be ethical in your profession. That was Dr. R.S. Ayyar. And subsequently, another side to Dr. R.S. Ayyar, he's encouraging for women's upliftment. As my daughter told you, I don't want to repeat, that he is the one who has shaped me from a mass of clay to some shape, if at all you find any in shaping me. He was my guru, he was my university, he was my everything. Without me, I would have been a zero. And not only that, my two daughters are, as you know, they're alumni of this institute. That also proves his philosophy of women's importance. And more than anything else, my mother-in-law, who was a support as a widowed mother to my husband and supported me for my education, is a proof of women's empowerment. And I'm standing before you and talking a few words because there was that woman who helped me to become a career woman. One woman. Of you all, I don't mean anything executive. A woman helping another woman in career building is very rare. And it should be done. So that was Dr. Ayyar. So, and finally, he was IIT life was his career was not a profession or anything. IIT was everything for him in his life. IIT means a lot. That is his life. So, and he was spent all his energy to see that IIT comes up. That was his idea, and his always he used to think about IIT. And so we all thought how to give a memorial for his love for IIT. It is love, not liking a profession. For him, IIT was his existence, social, academic, and professional existence is IIT. So I thought what a legacy I could make for him. And then, you know, I have never taken a decision in my life. My husband takes the decision, and I think he's always a better decision maker. And suddenly to make a decision, I do not know how to go about it. There is a thought. A thought is not enough. We need the implementation of the thought, how to go about it. And I am very grateful to this great institute of international standing. Each one, from the director's office, from the head of the department office, from the dean's office, everyone for 3 years, solid years, helped me how to go about it, how to make it a living thing. And I'm so happy, final day has come, my husband's wish has come, and I think this will pave the way for so many people to be inspired to give for the cause of education. And thank you very much for giving me a forum to hear my views. I am not a very great distinguished professor or a great academician, but I have a mind full of love for students and learning. If the students and the education are taken care of in any nation, its future is assured. And education is the one we should take care of. And my humble namaste to each of the distinguished professors assembled here, and my well wishes and my prayers to this institute for which must grow from time to time and occupy a vital place, an important place in the international universities. Thank you very much.
Sorry, Ayyar, Sorry for that. Come.
You can sit there.
You can come.
You want to sit? You can sit here. Okay, go on. Okay.
Actually, I'll take her. You
Okay.
take her.
Thank you so much, Parvati ma'am, for your inspiring words. It really touched the heart of all of us here at IIT Bombay. As we come to the conclusion of today's event, I would like to invite Professor Ravindra Gudi, the Dean of Alumni and Corporate Relations, to deliver the vote of thanks.
I would like to say two words, but he's
Good afternoon.
and thanks.
After such a wonderful oration, and Mrs. Ayyar, there's hardly any words that I can speak. I do remember Professor Ayyar. I was telling Professor Kedare that we are from the same batch, and CL301, which is the course Engineering Mechanics. I think it was Engineering Mechanics at that time, in which Professor Buragohain was our main professor, and there were tutorials that were conducted by each of his faculty colleagues, and Professor Aras Ayyar was for my batch. So I do remember him as a very brilliant teacher. The other aspect that I do recall about him was that as a Dean of Academic Programs, we were transiting from a 5-year BTech to a 4-year BTech. And there were substantial changes in the structure of the academic program, courses offered to the first and transiting to the individual department from second year. And he very skillfully balanced the course load and was able to lay out the academic program for the first batch of the 4-year that started in 81. And this was, I think, during his tenure. And I think overall, in terms of leadership, both in teaching as well as in leadership, he was absolutely very dynamic, very enthusiastic, and as you rightly pointed out, a very brilliant teacher. He used to inspire his students very much in various aspects, of course in civil engineering, but also in terms of their learning, and the development in various courses. So we do have very fond memories, and it was really nice to see a tree planted just at the entrance of the civil engineering department in his memory, and of course now this legacy, it certainly leaves a rich legacy behind, which will benefit several generations. So as a formal vote of thanks, I don't know if I should say this as a vote of thanks as much as a feeling of humility here, in that the institute is very deeply privileged to receive his continued grace and blessings as the institute grows, and of course the well wishes of the family certainly are growing to be internationally reputed university, and I'm sure blessings of this kind will stand us in good way in our aspirational growth. So thank you very much to the entire Ayyar family for this very kind gesture, and I think this legacy will continue and stay on forever. Thank you again very much. Would also like to thank the Department of Civil Engineering, the head of the department, for two of the aspects that we have been able to establish in memory as a tribute to Professor R.S. Ayyar. The tree which will now grow, and in fact I hope it grows. So it's actually a bakul tree, and a bakul tree has very good flowers and fragrance. So I'm sure the fragrance will continue to linger in the Department of Civil Engineering, and of course this very busy seminar hall where there will be a lot of scholarly activities, which in a way is a dedication and a tribute to Professor Ayyar. So thanks to the Civil Engineering Department, the head, the faculty, colleagues for enabling this in the department. I would also like to thank Professor Kedare, our director, Professor Milind Atre, Professor K.V. Krishna Rao, our deputy directors, and of course the Dean IPS, Professor Vedigiri, for the presence here, but also in terms of gracing this occasion and dedicating this to the memory of
Professor Ayyar. Thanks to all the staff of Civil Engineering, thanks to all my staff in the DNACR office, the Development and Relations Foundation. I think I must single out one person quite strongly, and that is Ms. Manjula Mehta. She was very assiduously and meticulously working through various stages as we developed this. It involved several legal aspects which she was able to work closely with the institute's legal as well as with the legal system in the registrar of societies and the like. She took very assiduously worked through all of those processes to make this happen, and now we have a kind of a standard operating procedure for all future donations that we would receive of this kind. So I would particularly like to mention Ms. Manjula Mehta, stellar job that she did, but also all of the DRS staff, including Gelpa and several others who have contributed to this. Finally, I would like to thank all the students and the faculty for gracing this occasion. I think it is us as human beings and as a respect that we pay to Professor Ayyar that really enlivens these things and enriches the tributes that we wish to pay to him. So thank you very much, all of you, for joining, and wish you a wonderful afternoon again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Gudi, for the gracious vote of thanks. Before we conclude the event, we have just received a special request from Mrs. Deshpande, a family friend of the Ayyar family. She would like to share a couple of words with us before we formally conclude the event.
Immensely grateful for this opportunity to speak at this moment. I'm Girija Deshpande, a family friend, honored to know Mrs. Parvati Ayyar and Professor Ayyar. It was at a bus stop, 386, that I met her. I was talking with my child, and Mr. Ayyar said, "Looks like she's a Tamilian." And then she says, "Nagarkoil Amma." She immediately probably guessed because of the dialect that we were using. And then I said, "Yes." And there started our friendship. When I came to know that he is head of the department, IIT, and then he is standing in the bus stop behind me, I was just now applying for working in colleges. And then I asked her, "God, he has reached that position. And what do you do?" "I'm also professor. I'm teaching in Somaya Institute, Somaya College." She didn't tell that to you. So she was head of the Department of English there. I'm also an English graduate, postgraduate in English literature. So I was stunned, and I said, "Ma'am, I would like to follow your footsteps, but I don't know whether I'll be able to reach there." She said, "Why not? You will reach there and still go further. I'm there for you." And it never stopped. It was not just like people meet at 1 minute and then forget. It continued. Those days there was no cell phone. I didn't even have a landline. But whenever we would meet at the bus stop, we would exchange notes. Then she called me home. I came, met her mother-in-law. They made dosas for me. We sat in the chula. We played with Rajni and Jayashri. She was doing Bharatnatyam. We had such fantastic memories. The most beautiful thing is he would write postcards. Because those days it was not possible to reach to any information. So there was an interview that was scheduled in the college. So he writes to me a postcard letter that is still with me. That letter, you should see, it is better than any print that you can ever see. Every letter was carved. That is how beautiful it was. He said, "You have such a beautiful biodata. You work so hard, and I'm very sure that you do well. At this time, at this place, at this venue, it is there. Please go there." So I had gone there. So there it started. And when my daughter got married, he comes there. She had lost her mother. She couldn't come. And he came there with a poem. And this is what he had written. Both of them together must have crafted it. "Wedding day greetings, dear Sweta and Vishal. Wedding is the moment for starting to move, heading to a life of sharing to know. That marriage of true minds bonded by love shall always be rosy, happy and bright. Contrasted in gender, but confident to aim, a confluence of thoughts to make it a game. A life full of joy, brimming with fame, as partners so unique that others can name. Sweta and Vishal, your wedlock will show that time as it passes will get you to know that your pains will vanish and gains will grow, while the stream of your love shall continue to grow. The life that you share will blossom with charms, with few fleeting tempestuous moments at times. If you forgive and forget the costs of rubs, you will play a symphony sweet in each other's company. Married life is never to be viewed as a tempest, nor is it to be thought as midsummer's night's dream. It is to be treated as a comedy of errors which you, newlyweds, can enjoy into your lives. I wish you a very happy, long and prosperous married life, full of domestic joys and professional achievements. Yours sincerely, Srimati Parvati Ayyar, Srimati R. Subramani Ayyar, 30th May 2004.